Come on in, come on in, come on in. Good morning. Happy Feminine Friday. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We're talking about the feminine sales shift. Okay, come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for a few more people to come in, and let me set this out really quickly. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I hope that y'all are well. Make sure I send these out. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Come on in, come on in. As I send these out. Hey, lovey. Today we're talking about the feminine sales shift. We're talking about 25 women, one shift, the sales strategy that you literally have never been told about. So we're going to dive into it today. Specifically, I'm going to get into the internal conflict around sales, and then I'm also going to introduce these 5 archetypes. A lot of times when women get stuck in a space where they can't really sell, they're getting stuck in one of these 5 energetic patterns. And a lot of this has to do with our childhood and how we grew up and how we view money and all these things. And so I'm going to break that down a little bit today. So let me know in the comments where you're watching from. And before I get started, I want to go ahead and let you guys know. So I am doing these 25 private sessions. There's 25 slots. A couple of them are gone already. And what they are is slots where I'm going to be really, really supporting you with getting clear on why you're not at least at minimum 10K months. Like, you should be at minimum hitting 5-figure months. So if you have yet to hit a 5-figure month, when people are making decisions saying things like $100,000, that's really low. You really need to be going for higher than that. Hey, my love from Boston. You really need to be going higher than that. So if you've never hit at least 5 figures a month in your business, we're going to get you some information to be able to support you with that. And then I also have these 25 sessions that I'm doing, and in these sessions, they specifically there for testimonials. But what I'm doing is that they do come with a fee, but in that fee, you're going to get a whole lot. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit towards the end, but we're going to get into to the specifics of the feminine sales shift and why this is so important. As you begin to see as things are going on, you need to be able to make money in a way that's not going to exhaust you. Society is already trying to exhaust you enough with everything that keeps coming out with news and all these other different things. But let me just be very clear with you. You need to have an aligned monetization path if you want to thrive in this society. And when I say an aligned monetization path, thank you, my love, for these likes. I'm not talking about you having a 9-to-5. 9-to-5 is about to be non-existent basically by 2030, and by 2027, most of you are going to be, if you're working a 9-to-5, you're going to be picking up like shifts type things, kind of like how Amazon did a couple of years ago when they were trying it out. A lot of things are shifting and changing. So for those of you who are like, I have a business, but I don't know what's going on, I'm going to have to go back to work, that is not an option. We need to talk about why you're not getting to at least 5-figure months, because if you want to be able to thrive, you're going to need to get to at least about 5-figure months if you are in business, okay? So put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly before I get ready to get started. Share this with an amazing woman who has a business, who has yet to hit 5 figures a month in her business. The reason why you need to be hitting at least 5 figures a month in your business is because you want to be able to travel. You want to be able to afford, not just afford the things that you need to have, but you want to be able to have more, okay? So you're not going to be able to continue to be on this path where you're just coasting or you're barely making money in your business, or it's just enough for you to say you have a business. Money literally is the blood of your business, and you need to position yourself to be able to make money to where you're not stressing out. If you took the monetize like a Muse class, you figured out that there were 3 monetary streams that you have on the inside of you that are connected to your identity. So what that $10,000 bot I created does is supports you and getting in the space of understanding what you have within you authentically that will literally get you paid. The days of working hard and performance-based income is over with. Not in a way that you think. It's not like you having to go out there and actually do labor. Performance-based income and different things are being looked at by corporations when they want to hire you for brand deals and different things like that. But that whole working hard and doing that, all that stuff is dead. You have to find an aligned monetization path that literally works for you. And this is why this is very, very important. I am monetized on 4 platforms. And those 4 platforms pay me. Some pay me weekly and some pay me monthly. So, and the thing is, if you're going to be on these platforms, you're going to be utilizing them, they need to pay you. But you need to position yourself so that you are being paid consistently, because it's very easy for you to get paid. You just have to position yourself. And a lot of you are not in position because you're kind of selling from the wrong energy. And when you come to work with me specifically in this session that I'm talking about, the sessions I'm going to be having, in those sessions, we're going to help you figure out what your feminine design sales archetype is. So that's your unique way of selling. You're also going to find out what your shadow side of that is, of why you've been blocking, your ability to be able to hit these 5-figure months consistently. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Elle Antoinette. I am a mentor to women of wealth and influence. What I do specifically is that I support my amazing clients who are high-performing women. I support them in regulating their emotions, restoring their power so that they can lead, earn, and attract from energetic alignment. The reason why a lot of women are exhausted today is because you are not attracting from energetic alignment, or you are attracting from energetic alignment, but you're misaligned here. So you believe that you're supposed to have a different type of experience, when in reality, the experience that you are having is literally the one that you have called into your space, called into your environment. Y'all see that? I'm sorry, it's glue on my hand. So if you see that, don't overlook it. But you're calling these things into your space, and you don't realize that you're calling these things into your space, like inconsistent money, inconsistent partners. An inconsistent pattern is not just inconsistency in one area, it's inconsistency in a multitude of areas. But what you have to understand is that we are creatures of habit, so we are not inconsistent. Okay? So there's misalignment that's happening. If you're a woman that keeps attracting a certain type of partner in a different body, okay, this means that you are calling this energy into your space. But even deeper than that, you are entertaining this energy that keeps coming into your space, which means that you have not gotten to the root issue. I have a TikTok video right now that people in my comments going off of me about on the Slick, asking me. I'm going to come back and I'm going to make a response. But I'm basically letting you know, if you go from abundance, lack with your money, what's happening is that you have an energetic root issue, and you haven't gotten down to the root of that issue. You have a pattern that's been created, and you need to retrain your nervous system. And so a lot of the work that I do is supporting my clients in being able to become balanced by retraining their nervous system, by cycle syncing, by understanding their emotions so that they can master their emotions, and so that their emotions are not mastering them, okay? So if you're in your business and you're not hitting at least 5-figure months, you are positioning yourself for poverty, if this is what you are leaning on and depending on, okay? Business is very simple. Business involves you solving a problem. So if you know you solve a problem and you solved this problem before, but a lot of people are just not coming in, there's something off with the messaging, there's something off in that area. And if the messaging is off, that means the core of you is off, because you're disconnected from what it is that you're selling. And so that session is going to support you in becoming better in that, okay? So like I said, 25 women, 1 shift, the sales strategy you've never been told. The sessions are going to be $150. This is mainly why I'm doing these sessions are for testimonial purposes. Of course, y'all know I don't do anything for 100, not one-on-one sessions for $150. But the reason why I'm doing this is because I want testimonials, because I want 25 women, I want their lives changed. So If you want one of those sessions, all you have to do is DM me the word session, and I'm going to send you the link so you can go ahead and book the session. And then I'll tell you everything that you'll get in the session. The first thing you're going to get is you're going to do this AI bot that's going to support you in figuring out what are the gaps in your business. How have you been selling? What's your shadow side? And I'm going to tap into with these shadow sides of how you may be selling from that energy and why people are not hearing you. Okay, so it's going to be a lot. But let's go ahead and get straight into it, all right? I've introduced myself. For those who are watching on YouTube, all the links are going to be in the description box. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've been doing everything right in the sense of posting, showing up, healing, taking programs, but it's still not necessarily landing like you know that it should be landing, because you know that what you offer is just that powerful, it's just that good, and this is for you. This is not going to be another strategy session. It's basically a mirror. So it's helping you gain understanding of where you're kind of missing some things when it comes down to your business, okay? Here's the truth. A lot of women aren't blocked because they don't really know what to do as far as like how to start making at least 5 figures a month in your business. They're blocked specifically because they're showing up as the version of themselves that was never meant to lead, which means that a lot of people who are showing up online are not showing up as themselves, or they're not showing up as the highest version of themselves. And therefore, when people look at them and people see them, they are not radiating. And if they are not radiating, then their message is not resonating. And that's a really big issue. For your message needing to resonate is how you get revenue. See, all the big corporations understand this. A lot of people look at corporations and think they're selling one thing when they're really selling something else. Amazon does not sell products. Amazon sells convenience. See, when you understand the underline, then you can start speaking the language to your client so that they start buying in. What was the first thing that y'all started talking about with Amazon? Amazon Prime. Now, Prime ain't priming like it used to. Let's not get it confused. But when it first came out, everybody was like, Amazon Prime, because you was getting everything quickly. Amazon sold convenience. It does not sell products. And because it sells convenience, it can tell you and it speaks to what it does. So people think about Amazon, they think about getting something quickly, okay? When you think about something, even as simple as Shein, right? Or Shein, or whatever the name of how it's pronounced or whatever. It basically is saying she in, as in she in these clothes. She in this outfit. She needs to see herself in these clothes, in these outfits. She needs to see it rapidly. All of these things, you really have to start thinking about the underline of these things, because this is how they sell things to you. So if you understand and can assess and look at other businesses, then you got a better understanding of how you can run your business. What is your underline? Okay, a lot of you are out here talking about, how this can change lives and how this can do this. How? You're not being clear enough to where your client wants to join in. And because of that, you're not speaking the language. And this was the issue that one of my clients had. One of my clients was really struggling. She did not want to get on TikTok. And I was telling her, you need to get on TikTok. I was like, you need to get on TikTok because you're going to make a lot of money from TikTok. I'm telling you what I know. You're doing God's work. I can see this going extremely far. I need you to take this quiz to figure out what is your style. What is your feminine design sales archetype? What is the unique way that you sell so that your clients can actually hear your message? Well, when she took the quiz, she realized that she was a nurturer. And so she started speaking the language of a nurturer that was given to her according to her plan, right, to her ideal clients. And then she started hitting 5-figure months because the messaging was landing. A lot of you are talking at your clients. A lot of you are not really being clear in your messaging, which is making them not want to continue to come your way or to buy in, okay, because they're very confused by what you have going on. So like I said, many women are not blocked. They just don't know what to do because they're showing up as the version of themselves that was never meant to lead, that was never meant to be on camera. Anything that is not who you truly are, anything you attract under false pretenses, you can't keep. So you have to make sure that you're being authentic, okay? Authenticity is what attracts. When you attract something under false pretenses, you're not going to be able to sustain it. And we want to do more than just create a business or have a business. You want to be able to sustain a business. And I'm telling you, if you are not hitting 5-figure months, your business, you are positioning you and your lineage for poverty. And it's a way for you to be able to get 5-figure months without having to be all over the place. Okay. And that's what you'll figure out in these sessions. So today, I'm going to help you really kind of see Who's been running your business? Because I know you think you've been on camera. I know you think it's been you, but it's 5 archetypes that one of these 5 you're showing up online as, and this is why people are not buying into your product or service. And so I'm going to tap into that today, because you really need to get that understanding if you want to sell. Because like I said, you need to be hitting 5-figure months, period. That's your minimum. That's your minimum if you're in business. And I'm not talking about just, you sitting down there at 10. When you get to 10, you realize 10 really ain't nothing when you need to pay out things. Okay? So let's go ahead and get straight into it. I'm going to help you see who's been really running your business and how to shift, okay, into the identity that actually holds the visibility, holds the money that you're trying to make, and the aligned success. Because the version that you're showing up as online can't hold that success. The fake you can't hold what's really for you. So if you're saying that you want a multi-6-figure business, you want a 7-figure business, I'm telling you, it's someone who has supported clients in those areas and who has built a business, a 6-figure plus business herself from the ground up without hustling. I'm telling you, if you want to be able to do this, you have to be willing to be seen. And a lot of women don't want to be seen. You want to show up as the version that, you think is going to get the sales. That's why you're not getting the sales. And then you looking at people who get online, who don't comb their hair, who don't do this and who don't do that. And you trying to figure out how they got all these views and how they getting all this money. They're okay with branding like that, but they're being themselves. Something that you are afraid to be. And because that fear is transferred, because like I said, energy can't be destroyed, it can only be transferred. So if you create a product in fear, if you create a service in fear, if you are reaching out and marketing in fear, that energy is going to be transferred whether you realize it or not. People are going to feel whether or not you are desperate. People are going to feel whether or not you are genuine. People are going to feel whether or not you are trying to scam them. Going to feel whether or not you are desperate. People are going to feel whether or not you are genuine. People are going to feel whether or not you are trying to scam them. And I'll pay attention to that. So like I said, I'm having 25 sessions. They're going to be $150 a piece. If you want that, DM me the word session. I'm going to go over what all we're going to be going over in that session. But it is for people who have not quite hit 5 figures a month, who are ready to really start hitting 5 figures a month consistently, because you're going to need that in your business. I'm sorry. All that, I made $1,000 this month. Absolutely not. I need you to understand what's going on, especially if you live in the States. You do understand that in order for you to really see tax breaks, you need to hit over 350. And you can hit over 350 if you position yourself well. So the thing is, it's all about whether or not you're going to release these things that are blocking you and close the gap between you and the amount of money that you want to make. Because there's no excuse. And I've already explained to people, like I did the whole manifestation hack last week where I was explaining to you guys to really put your highest salaries up, add up your top 3 highest salaries. If you have already hit, when you add those up, if they add up to $100,000, if you add 2 up and they add up to $100,000, you've already made 6 figures. So what you need to do now is learn how to collapse time. And if you want to collapse time, okay, that means that you need to no longer waste time. So you have to invest in things that are going to position you to be able to receive that. It's definitely a work, okay? So let me be very clear when I say this. Strategy only works when the woman implementing is energetically aligned with the version of herself who was meant to lead. I'm going to say that again. Strategy only works when the woman implementing the strategy is energetically aligned with the version of herself who is meant to lead. I did not hit 6 figures in my business until I developed a 6-figure mindset. Okay? Hi there. I didn't create that business until I got into that mindset. Okay? So when I got into that mindset and started to embody the habits of someone who already had a business who was pulling in at that point, that was when I started to see more of the 5-figure months, because I was already in a space of energetically ready to receive that. A lot of you can't fathom someone paying you or you making 5 figures a month online or from the house and all these different type of things because you've never seen it done. But you have to challenge yourself and challenge the things that you think that you know if you want to surpass the reality that you are currently existing in. Because you really know it's not enough. And I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to go, oh, I'm going to go get, this business don't work, I'm just going to go get a 9 to 5. Again, 9 to 5s are becoming non-existent. As of 2027, it said most people are going to be forced into entrepreneurship. It says by 2030 that the 9 to 5 world is going to be non-existent. So you need to figure out what you're going to do. And like I told you, there are 2 doors being opened here. We're sitting in a window, what you call a window. So you have, people who are going to position themselves for forward progression, or you're going to have people who position themselves for poverty. And like I said, there are going to be certain lineages that have never experienced poverty but are going to be positioned for it because people are afraid to make decisions. So I'm telling you, like, you can have all the strategy in the world, but if you are not energetically ready to receive, $100,000 or $1 million, when it gets in your hand, you're gonna blow it, which is why you have the fear of messing up and the fear of failure. But if you understand that you are rooted spiritually in who you are and your understanding, then you understand that you have the kingdom of heaven within you, according to Luke 17:21. And what you also understand is that there is no loss, there is no lack, and there is no failure in the kingdom. So there's no way you can meet those endings unless you don't submit to the process, unless you don't obey the process, unless you just don't show up. There's no way for you to lose. There's no way for you to fail. There's no way for your bills and for things to go lacking if you are in alignment with the vision. I've never seen a time where the Most High provided a vision and there was no provision in the vision. Never seen it happen, which is why I don't understand why people will up and get married and there's no ain't nobody making no money. What, y'all gonna eat air? Because what's the vision for your marriage? Is the vision for you to be broke? Because I'm confused. Without a vision, the people will perish. And see, we are wondering why marriages are perishing, people are perishing, all these different things, because there's no vision. So we have not even wrote the vision down. So there is no vision to write down. So people are simply perishing. I see so many women. Who are brilliant, who are wise, who are experienced, trying to force strategies that literally do not match their nervous system, their voice, or their values. You don't have to sell your soul to make money. I'm telling you, as someone who has made basically almost $200-something thousand on these apps, you don't have to sell your soul to make money. Hi, love. You don't have to sell your soul to make money. You have to show up authentically as yourself and solve the problem. What problem are you solving? Stop trying to do something. If you know if you know that you're not the type to initiate, most of the time you are approached, things come to you, then DMs may not necessarily be your strategy, or you may actually need, for you to use AI to support you in DM strategy. Just that as a psychiatrist, I see this. So many are depressed. So many are depressed. You are sacrificing yourself. Let me tell you something. A lot of doctors, a lot of nurses, a lot of attorneys, a lot of therapists, a lot of social workers come to see me because they are extremely exhausted, because they are participating in things that don't match their voice, don't match their values, and their nervous systems are wrecked. And then they have to come to me to get them back in a space where they can retrain their nervous system. Here's the energetic mismatches that's happening that I see all the time from women who are online in business. Women will sell from the part of you that wants to be chosen. See, the pick-me thing, and I'm going to say this to you, a woman that's a pick-me in her energy is not just a pick-me in relationships with men. She's a pick-me across the board. And I also want to say this a little bit deeper, because I'm not talking about or disrespecting or dishonoring pick-me's, because here's the thing. For the women who have been abandoned, especially if you were abandoned as a child, I understand wanting to be picked, wanting to feel chosen, like all of these things, wanting to feel selected. I want people to stop acting like we don't live in a society that is very vain and that is very like, if you didn't get chosen, you're not valuable. I want us to really not act like we don't live in a society like that, because we do. We live in a society that says if you're not married, you don't have children by this age, then you must not be worthy, you must not be this, you must not be that. So for a lot of women to be in the pick-me energy is not surprising, and they really shouldn't be shamed for it. Now, what I do feel like needs to happen is that a mirror needs to be put up so that that woman can see if that's the type of energy or the way she wants to continue to live her life. Okay? I do believe that, because what women have to understand is that when a woman who has the energy of a pick-me is a woman who doesn't understand that she already has been chosen. And a woman who doesn't already understand that she has been chosen is a woman who has not chose herself first. And a woman who has not chose herself first is a woman who does not understand or truly know herself nor her value, so that she can actually protect and cover and keep herself. Because when you choose you, you are always chosen. And deeper than that, when you understand your creator, you understand that if you are here, you were chosen already. So society doesn't have to pick you. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. Just like a customer doesn't have to pick you to help them solve their problem. It's okay. When you be okay and you learn to be okay with not being chosen because you've chosen yourself, you will always be chosen. People will always pick you. They will always gravitate to you. They will always come into your space. But the women that I see online with the energetic mismatches are women who are trying to sell from a place like, pick me, I'm better than somebody else. Pick me, I'm the one. Pick me, pick me. Pick me energy is something that's picked up on by your ideal clients. Pick me energy is something that is picked up on by men. Pick me energy is something that is picked up by people who are not really your friends, in your face acting like you are your friends. The energy, the underlying understanding that people have when they use you because they know that you are a pick me is that you are so desperate to be selected that you will accept whatever because you're so desperate to be selected. And like I said, the majority of the things that I teach you can use in life and business and relationships. So if you are like that in business, you're not going to convince me that you're not like that in life, because how you do one thing is normally how you do all things. Okay? Here's a second energetic mismatch that I see happening with women online who are in business and why they're not hitting 5-figure months consistently. They're writing content from the version of themselves who fears being seen. Like I said, y'all want attention to come to your content, but you don't want to be seen, meaning... And let me tell you something. When a person wants attention in the form of likes and shares and engagement and all of that, and that is your priority and that is what you want so bad, you just really need that attention because you feel like that's so valuable and that's so important. A lot of women who operate from that space, who are attention seeking, I'm going to tell you something in a multitude of ways and I want you to hear me. Women who are attention seeking, whether that is in business, in life, or personal, okay? These women normally are afraid of being exposed. So they put up a persona because they want you to believe the persona that they are writing, that they are exhibiting, all of these things. Prime example, when you go out and you sit, let's say you're sitting in a crowd full of women, and you have that one woman who just wants all the attention on herself because men have walked through the door. So she starts just, exaggerating how drunk she is, or, she starts exaggerating and just doing a whole lot more extra things to be able to get attention, okay? So what this woman specifically wants is that she wants attention, but she don't want to be seen. She wants you to see her as whatever character that she is acting like at their current time. And she wants you to believe that that is who she is. And she believes that that is what is going to make you attracted to her. But in reality, what that woman doesn't realize is her blocking herself from being seen is actually what's repelling that very man, that money, and that opportunity from her because she's trying to get attention. And a lot of you are creating content from a space like that. You're creating content from a version of you who really is fearing being seen. And you know why are you afraid of being seen? Because you're not being yourself. And that's why you got imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is only real when you're not being yourself. There's never been a time I had imposter syndrome. Because I told the Most High, if I was coming outside, if you wanted me to get online and really be talking like this, I gotta be able to be myself, because I'm not gonna be fake and phony. I'm not gonna code switch. I'm not gonna do all this. I got to be able to be myself, because that's the only thing I could sustain. I can't wear a mask too long, baby. It's too hard to breathe. I ain't finna do it. And see, a lot of you are creating content from a very mass place, and you're wondering why it's not attracting the energy of 5-figure months. That's why. Okay? You're afraid of being exposed, when you need to expose yourself, so that when you expose yourself, no one else can expose you, because you freed yourself from the shame of that, whatever that is. Okay? Here's a third energetic mismatch that I'm seeing that's truly happening. Thank you, my love, for these likes and these comments with women, and why they're not hitting consistent 5-figure months is because you're trying to launch from your perfectionism instead of your presence. See, you're trying to wait until, everything is perfect. You want things to look a certain kind of way. You want things to come across a certain kind of way. When in reality, your client is calling for you. But you are too afraid to show up and be strong in your presence. That's a problem. Your presence as a woman is one of the most powerful and highest forms of currency. Why do you think Adam was so alone and was so sad? Why do you think he was so happy and he had so much joy when she came? Baby, they are miserable without us. Do you understand that? We multiply, we magnify, we magnetize, okay? We amplify. These are the things, when you understand these things about yourself and your presence, you won't just give yourself away so easily. Women who mismanage their time and allow people to just siphon their time, their energy, and their attention are women who don't understand their value. Because you are to be invested in, because you are an asset. You are a natural walking asset. Do you know women cost more than men? Literally. Because we bring life. We literally, and I'm not talking about, women cost more, they got makeup, they got this. We bring life. I done told y'all about the video where old girl put online about it cost $40,000 to have her son, and then he had he came in with a $12,000 bill, and y'all like, he talking about y'all marrying and there's no income. And y'all talking about children. You don't even think about having no children if you ain't making consistent 5-figure months in your business. Stop. You're not in a place where you're in a position for that. And you need to be for real. You need to position yourself and your lineage for forward progression, not poverty, with your decision making. Stop trying to launch from a perfect place and be present. Be present. Okay? If you are in business, drop a sign in the comments. Hey, my love, if you've ever felt like, why am I not selling? Why isn't this working when I feel like I'm doing everything right? I'm posting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but I'm not getting the results that I want. I'm not bringing in the type of income that I want. If you have a business, period, you should be making 5 figures a month at minimum. Period. Or close it down. And I'm dead serious. Because you ain't going to make it. You ain't going to make it. I watched a video. Somebody sent me a video. And I can't remember the man that was speaking. But on that video, they were like in the house. And it was like a Congress type meeting. And they were saying basically like, you're going to be penalized by 2027. If you make low wages, they're going to tax you the highest. If you make less than $15,000, or if you make this, they are taxing you to the max. And the people who are going up and up and up in the tax bracket are not having any taxes. They are going to start taxing you by 2027. That's the plan. They're going to tax you into poverty. They're going to, what I tell y'all in February 2023 in that video when I was crying. And I told y'all, I said then, just like the parable in scripture, when it talked about how the man who had the 1,000 pound did not invest his 1,000 pound wisely, the master came back and took that 1,000 that he had, took the little that he had. I sat on this live, and it's still, that video is still sitting over there on YouTube. It's still doing numbers. I want to say that's like a 10K video, that because that's the video that made me get monetized through YouTube. On that video, I told y'all that if you didn't invest your time, energy, attention, and your talents wisely, that you were going to lose the little money that you had. And I'm telling you, I watched the video the other day. It's on TikTok. They were having a meeting a Congress style meeting, and they were running things. They're like, so let me get this straight. By 2027, they're going to be, if you make this less than 10,000, I think it was like less than, one of them was less than $10,000 a month, this is how much you're going to be taxed. And then it went all the way down to the people who were making 15,000. And who you think at the bottom making 15,000? Like, who you think at the bottom making that kind of money? Your parents that are on Medicaid? See, you need to start thinking. Because some of you don't realize where you're not making the type of money that you need to make in your business, you're going to have to caretake and take care of your parents and your family. Because what you going to do if they cut that money off? How are you prepared? Let me tell you one story that really inspired me. There's a woman, and she was talking about, and she got into the coaching industry, and one weekend she made like over $300,000. And I want to say she had maybe like 15 people that were there. But that's how much she made that weekend. She explained to me maybe like a year, or she said maybe like a year into her business, or a couple of years into her business. And she wasn't talking to me specifically, let me correct that. But she said that sometime in her business, her husband got sick. Husband got really sick, like real sick. And she was heavy in her business. She was able to hire private nurse care. She was able to keep their children in private school. They didn't miss a beat. When they went on vacation, a little bit after that, they house flooded. And what did she do when they came back? They were able to be in a rental home until they remodeled their entire home. So to be able to take care of the man, gonna have a son on the inside, all of this stuff. But she had the resources because she trusted herself to be able to fully show up. If something happened right now, most Americans, if an emergency happened right now and you are the cycle breaker in your family, you are the one who went to school, you are the one who made the most money. But a lot of Americans are one emergency from being in poverty, being in the poorhouse. One emergency. And you out here talking about you got a business. Start positioning yourself to make these 5 figures or close the business, because you are going to, I'm telling you. And I don't want to hear no, oh, I can't. You can make this money. It's not hard for you to make this money. At minimum, you can have a $2,500 product. All you need is 4 people to buy in. If you want to play the math game with me, don't piss me off. Let's go ahead and get into it. So if you go ahead and you are actually emailing 100 companies a day, or 100 clients a day, hell, or even 100 clients a week, you don't think 4 people going to at least respond and be interested in what you're serving? If you're able to articulate the message in such a way to where they know that they need it, and this is what they've been waiting on, you literally are like an answered prayer. They say yes to you. That's what happened to one of my other clients. That's what happened to my other client. She got tired of small pennies, so she came to see me. And when she got tired of those small pennies, and I told her we need to be charging $2,500 for this, and come back and see me when you have your first 10K, because it's not going to take you long. And when she came back to see me, literally 3 weeks later, she had gotten up to $14,000 in sales in 3 weeks. So don't give me the excuses, and don't tell me nothing about you ain't got nothing to sell, because a lot of you have sat at these corporations and been selling their business all this time, and you done made them all this money, but you don't know how to do it for yourself. It's not really making a whole lot of sense. Let's get into these 5 archetypes, or these shadow sides of it, of your archetypes, of why you're not hitting the 5-figure months that you want to hit consistently. Excuse me. Because what I found, and this is again and again and again, this is a pattern that I found, is that women will get stuck specifically inside of one of these 5 energetic patterns. And I like to call this the shadow sides of the feminine sales design archetype, because your feminine design sales archetype is your authentic way of selling. You have creative and witty inventions in your very being, according to Proverbs 8 and 12. You have a unique, beautiful way that you sell these things and you articulate these things. But if you are not aware of self, you cannot articulate them, means that your messaging is not going to relate, which means that sales are not going to come in. And that's what you want. You want sales to be able to come in consistently, okay? So what I'm about to tell you with these 5 things, these are not personality traits or tests, okay? These are embodied survival patterns that show up in your brand, they show up in your sales, they show up in your pricing, and they show up in your visibility, okay? So these things are extremely important, extremely vital. So I'm going to go ahead and break down these 5 right here. Okay. Oh, hold on. I just lost my page. Sorry. All right. So the first one we're going to start with is the overgiver. So the overgiver pattern in business normally gives endlessly, waits to be chosen, and always burns out. So she's always online giving a bunch of free content out. She's always giving free advice out. She's always everyone's problem solver, solutionist. Like, she's the one in the friend group that everybody comes to and is like, yeah, I need this, I need that, can you help me, blah, 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 blah. She's the one who's extremely burnt out, but she's also the one that's very scorned. She's scorned because nobody sees her, nobody supports her, nobody sees what she's actually putting in there. Okay? So we have the overgiver, and the overgiver tends to normally be the one in childhood that had to do everything, that kind of had to sacrifice her no. Okay, a lot of us in our no's were taken from us when we were children, and we were taught to just kind of give without limits. When it comes down to this particular type of energetic pattern or embodied survival pattern, this particular woman is really hoping that someone will find and see her as being useful as an asset. That's why she continues to give. So she does this not only in business by giving out too much content, but she also does this as well in relationships by overgiving and overextending, and then trying to figure out why the partner is repelled by her. Okay? She's not realizing she's waiting to be chosen, and she hasn't chosen herself. So that's one embodied survival pattern that's showing up in your brand, in your sales, in your pricing, and in your visibility. Here's the other one. There's the hidden voice. Okay? This particular woman is deeply wise. I mean, she's extremely wise, but she's coded and very, very unclear. Okay? Her truth isn't felt. All right. This is the type of client, or this is the type of businesswoman, entrepreneur, who is extremely wise, probably very spiritually in tuned, probably extremely guarded because of all of the information that she does know and that she has picked up. So when she speaks, she's more so talking at them, and that's if she's even talking, and she isn't felt. And because she doesn't allow herself to be felt, then people can't pour their finances into the experience, because she won't expose how wise she truly is. So she kind of sits in the background. She kind of supports other people. She kind of helps people. It's kind of like the hidden person. If I would say it's kind of like Big Mom in the bag. You already know that's always who you're going to go to. She's extremely smart. She's extremely wise, but nobody really understands her. So you just go to her because she's just in the bag, and she always just stays in the bag. Okay. That's the hidden voice. Hey, love. Then you have the strategist type. The strategist type is very controlled, very rigid, very structured, very safe, but also very forgettable. Because she's so rigid, she's so rule driven, she's so, let me get this straight and make sure it's good and be perfected, that people don't even see her as a real person. So they don't want to resonate with her message, let alone hear her message, let alone spend their revenue with her. Okay, she's very, very structured. She's very safe. She's controlled, but she's forgettable. She's not making an impact. Her impression bores people. It feels too much like school. Okay, because you want everything to be perfect. So that's the strategist. And then you also have the shapeshifter. This is the woman who is magnetic. This is the woman who is multi-passionate, probably multifaceted, multi-layered serial entrepreneur. And she's confusing, because one minute she does taxes, the next minute she does hair, the next minute she cooking meals, the third minute she's switching it. She's always pivoting. She's always changing. Nobody can keep up, and nobody can trust you because you keep changing your form. And you do this in relationships too. Same thing. The hidden voice in relationship, that's the one who be trying to keep the peace. That's the one who don't want to rock the boat. The strategist in a relationship is the one that's super rigid. Everything has to go by me. Everything has to go by this. Okay? The shapeshifter is the one who shifts and changes and alters, and she's confusing, and confusion can't be trusted. Okay? And then we have the quiet power. The quiet power is present. She's very poised, but muted. She's invisible in plain sight. You look at her and you could tell it's something about her, but she hides. She hides who she truly is. So therefore, because she hides who she truly is, no one can see her and no one can invest in her. These are all survival patterns. These are the shadow sides of how you're operating and trying to sell in business, okay? And until you recalibrate to becoming the other side of those things, or onto the other side of those things, you will continue, or you will keep trying to sell from the wrong version of you. You're selling from the lack version. All of these are lack. You overgive because you want to be chosen, because you feel like it's a lack in choosing you. You hide your voice, okay, or your truth isn't felt specifically, okay, because you're afraid of people being able to really receive you. The strategy is you want to control everything, because the truth is you're not in control of self. So you want to control everything else around you because you don't want to be hurt, because you believe there's a root to lack. The shapeshifter, okay, completely confused and all over the place. Your main thing is that you won't sit and be cool and comfortable with you and sit in one thing. Just because you sit in one thing does not mean you have to abandon all other things. It just means that all other things stop being priority. Okay? So until you recalibrate all of these things, you're going to keep trying to sell from the wrong version of you, the version of you that's lacking. The version of you that says, the shapeshifter says, I'm not enough, so I need to keep changing. I need to keep moving. I need to keep doing this. I need to keep doing that. Absolutely not. You don't need to keep doing that. You need to stick to the plan. You need to stick to the plan. Okay? So until you recalibrate this, you're still going to be selling from that type of energy. And like I said, I had a client where she is a natural nurturer. She was a very, very natural nurturer, deeply caring, extremely powerful, but she was stuck in the over-giving pattern. So she would give, tell everybody how they can do this womb work, tell everybody how they could do this, tell everybody how they could do this, giving out all the information for free, but she was feeling exhausted because she was not charging enough. She wasn't charging enough. So in one session, we talked about how she had been muting herself for real, and she shifted. Okay, she now builds a 6-figure stream using soft power, TikTok content, magnetic messaging, and she hit six figures while she was on vacation in Jamaica. Okay, my other client, I would classify her as the hidden voice. She was poetic, she was brilliant, but totally misunderstood. And in our session, we got her truth together. She stopped hiding. She started claiming her voice. Okay, and then she made her first $10,000 right after. Okay, the difference wasn't more content. The difference was more congruence. And like I said, that's why I created the Feminine Sales Archetype sessions. It's going to be for 25 women. Okay, not so I could teach you guys more strategy, because that's not what it's about, but it's to hold space for recalibration. This is a 60-minute AI-powered energetic diagnostic. Okay, so here's what's going to happen when you schedule the session with me for $150. If you want the session is, you have to DM me the word session, and it is $150. Yes, you can get all of these with Klarna Farm and Afterpay. What I will tell you is, don't enter into this space with the energy of desperation, because I ain't going to be able to help you. I'm telling you right now, I don't do desperate energy. Who this session is for women who want their lives changed, and it's only 25 sessions that I'm going to have. I do not do my sessions for 60 minutes with me cost $9.97. I'm doing these at $150 because I want your testimonial. I want to change your life. I want 25 women to literally hit their first 5-figure month. And I need it to happen before this year. I need it to happen actually in the next 30 to 90. Okay? That's what I need. So here's what you're going to get on the inside when you schedule this session. You take the precise archetype quiz that reveals your energetic identity that you've been selling from. It's going to reflect your shadow pattern and the sabotage loop. Okay? So you can see exactly where it is. You will receive the exact archetype shift that you're meant to embody next. So you can step into the energy of collecting 5-figure months. And then you're going to leave me when we have our session with one embodied shift that's going to change how you show up in business forever. So this is not about tweaking content. We're not even talking about that. This is about clearing the static so that your actual voice can lead. Okay? So the same level of depth that I deliver in my containers that are 2,000 and 7,000 and 10,000, and I have a $25,000 offer as well. I'm giving that same type of energy in these 25 sessions. Okay? So it's going to be $150. Not because it's always a low ticket. It's because I want 25 women to shift now. I want 25 testimonials. I want 25 stories. I want 25 receipts of how much my recalibration truly works. And some of those spots are gone because I've sent out links and stuff for them. So some of them are gone, okay? But if you feel it in your body and you don't want to be trying to figure out how you're going to make money, you want your business to work, and you want the truth, and you want to see where the gaps are, and you want to start hitting 5-figure months consistently, then DM me the word, like I said, either session or claimed. Okay? So that's how we're going to support each other. That's how I'm going to get these 25 women to the next level. I feel like changing 25 women's lives, and that's how I'm going to go about doing it. So if you want that session, make sure you DM me the word session so that I can send you that. Because here's the thing, let's be honest, baby. You done the trial and error doing it on your own. You done the algorithms, the programs, the affirmations. This is different. This is a mirror. This is the moment that you have been finally waiting for, because this is where you catch up to the woman that you're actually meant to become. So if you're ready to really meet her and lead from the energy of her, then DM me the word session or DM me the word claimed now so I can send you the link. When I send you the link, I'm assuming that you're ready to pay your $150 right then and there. That is what the link I'm sending you. Okay, we're gonna meet for 60 minutes, but before we meet, the first thing you're gonna get is that email, because I need you to see where you've been selling from, and then I need you to see how we can position you to start collecting those 5-figure months. Because if you in business, you need 5-figure months, or you ain't gonna make it. You just not. Emails or close your business down. I don't mean no harm. I'm just being real. Ain't no more time for you to be scared to charge this. You got a real skill set that people will pay you for. Don't piss me off. Stop playing. Okay? Drop your questions in the comments for me. Like I said, this is the Feminine Sales Shift. I have 25 sessions. Well, I think it's less than people got some. But I'm just going to say 25 sessions, $150. All you have to do is, and this is like I said, because I want testimonials, I want results, I want receipts. So if you ain't ready to do no work, baby, don't DM me. Don't DM me so we can talk, because I don't want to talk. I want to talk about how your life about to change. I don't want to talk about nothing else. I want to talk about changing your life. If that positions you to make more money so you can travel, I want to know your why. That's one of the first things that we're going to talk about when we get on our session. What is your why? Your why got to be bigger than you want this. Your why has to be bigger than your life. That's the only way you're going to hold to it. It can't be, oh, I want to buy my parents' house. Once you buy your parents' house, it's a wrap. Oh, I just want to get married. Once you get married, you just ain't doing no more work. The goal has to be bigger. And the problem is a lot of y'all don't think big enough. And that's why you don't get to the money. You don't get to what it is that you want. The goals aren't big enough. Like they not real enough. Okay? If the goal is to world school your baby in Costa Rica for 2 months out of the year, that can definitely be done. Because guess what? Living in Costa Rica nicely, because I've done the math, living in Costa Rica nicely, you could live in Costa Rica every single month at the bare minimum, and it'd be decent at $2,800 a month. So all you need is what, $5,600, and you could homeschool your baby in Costa Rica. And I'm talking about you living like that. You got a pool. So there's nothing to this but for you to actually really get into the space and to do it. I'm not a person who does excuses. Like I said, it's time, y'all. This is not a time for you to be doing a mindset shift. This is for you to be quantum jumping. And these sessions are for women who want to jump. So if you are ready to jump, because you know your business is not making 5 figures a month and you need it to be making 5 figures a month, then this is going to be it for you. DM me the word session. Okay. What questions do you have? Let me scroll back up. I think I've seen a couple of them. Do I pursue this bachelor's degree or not? Is it going to advance your life to the next level or not? Is it in alignment with the vision for your life or not? Can you be more than one thing? Yes. When you take the quiz, if you get the session, you can answer multiple choice with the question with the quiz, and it'll tell you. The quiz is about 5 questions, and it's very detailed in telling you exactly the shadows, what you've been selling from, your blocks, how to change it, and then basically when you get in the session with me, this is how we're gonna implement it. These are the loopholes I see in when you speak. This is how you're going to close these gaps. I'm going to teach you how to close the gap between you and that money. Because ain't nothing in there. The only thing that's the difference between the space or the distance between you and that money is the plan. Is the plan. You don't have the plan because energetically you don't know where you're starting. And that's where the AI tool supports you of this is where you're starting. This is how you know what this is. This is how we're going to fix it and we're going to collect it and correct it. Okay. And this is how we're going to close the gap between you and your first 5-figure month. Because you need to close that gap. A lot of y'all think, oh, I need to make this money by tomorrow. No, you need to learn how to collapse time. That is what I teach. I'm really good at collapsing time. That's how I got my client to go from, I'm going to start this business in the next 5 years to starting it in the next 5 months. This is how my client jumped from the 250 to the 14K in sales. This is how my client jumped from 0 people being in her program to 45 days later, entire program being filled. We quantum jump over here. We don't do mindset shifts. So the session that we're having, I'm putting you in position to jump. When I get off that call with you, your feet should be coming off the ground into your next space. That's how basically it is. I'm like, here. Now, all you got to do is jump. Okay? What questions do you guys have for me? I'm glad I found you. I love what you share. I've never heard a woman in my life share even. You should come to, I can't even think. You should come get a session. Even half of what you're saying with us. Yeah, a lot of people are missing. Definitely. Any other questions? Congratulations to those, because I see some people have sent me session. So I'm going to DM you guys right now and send y'all those links. I don't see any other questions at this point in time. If you have any questions in regard to the 25 sessions, make sure that you shoot me a DM. Like I said, these are going to be testimonials. That's my goal. My goal is for women jumping. I need as many women to jump as possible. I need you to see, and especially I need you to get to your first 5-figure month, because that's going to build your confidence. And once you get it one time and your confidence is built, you're going to continue to go. That's why I always tell people, come back and see me when you get your first 10. Come back and see me when you get your first 15. And they come see me when they come get their first 10 or 15. It's not hard to do. Your first 10 is mindset. Your first 10 is mindset. Your first 100 is marketing. Your first $1,000,000 is systems. Once you've hit $100,000, you can make $1 million. All you have to do is hire 10 other people to do exactly what it is that you're doing. Train them specifically and let them go out there and play the numbers game, and you are going to hit $1 million. It's not difficult. That's what I'm telling you. I have a client who still uses my cycle syncing formula to this day, and she's almost at $1 million. I'm not telling you nothing that it ain't what it is. So, like I said, DM me the word session if you're prepared. I'm going to shoot you that link. If you have any questions around any services or anything like that, let me know. Yes, you get everything with Client Affirm and Afterpay. If you're interested in Monetize Like a Muse, Monetize Like a Muse has gone up. Monetize Like a Muse is $333. And it does come with that $10,000 AI bot that lets you know your monetizable streams and your energetic profile and all that different type of stuff, where it really kind of breaks everything down. And then you get your workbook to be able to flesh everything out. So it's a lot of great information to support you in getting on the aligned path of monetization. Because the aligned path of monetization for you will not exhaust you. And that's what you got to remember. So if you're exhausted, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, you're this and you're that may not necessarily be the path for you. Okay? All right, y'all. I'm finna go. I gotta go eat and meet my protein goal. So I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing weekend. Thank you for being here for Feminine Fridays. Congratulations to all of you that will be getting those sessions, because it's going to be absolutely dope. I can't wait for these 25 transformations, these 25 receipts, these 25 women to just show themselves how powerful they truly are. Like I said, they're 150. You can get them with client affirming afterpay. All you have to do is DM me the word session, okay? Because if you have a business, it's time to get your business right. You need 5 figures a month, and you can do it. Coming from someone who didn't think she could do it, okay? You can do it, and it's not as hard as you think. I promise you, the hardest part is getting over yourself. Once you get over yourself, trust me, the money starts to come, okay? All right, y'all. Have an amazing, amazing day, an amazing weekend. Peace, y'all.